So let's talk about IT teams. Right now, so many of them are just hitting a wall. The backlog, it's just growing and growing, and the pressure is really on. But what if the answer isn't just hiring more people or asking everyone to work longer hours? What if it's something totally different? Well, today we're going to dive into something called vibe coding. It's a new idea that could completely change the game by rethinking who actually gets to build things.
Okay, so here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll look at why IT is at this breaking point. Then we'll get into the vibe coding solution itself and see what a day in the life actually looks like with this new tech. After that, we'll talk about the big one, how this changes who gets to build. And finally, we'll wrap up with this really important idea called the vibe butt check rule, which is key to making it all work safely. Sound good? Let's jump in.
All right, first things first. Before we can really appreciate the solution, we've got to understand the problem. And honestly, it's a bit of a crisis that's forcing this change. You can just feel it, can't you? This tension in IT departments everywhere. Over on one side, you've got this absolute mountain of backlogged projects. But then on the other side, you have the higher-ups saying, we need to innovate. We need AI transformation. So the IT teams are just stuck, caught right in the middle, being asked to do way more with, well, less. It's just not sustainable. And look, this isn't just a feeling. Here are the hard numbers that back it up. In just a single year, project requests jumped by 18%. And what was the result of that? Well, almost a third, 29%, of all projects missed their deadlines. And you know, that isn't just some number on a chart. That's the stuff that leads to serious burnout and a whole lot of frustration, not just in IT, but across the entire company. So that brings us to the big question, right? The one every IT leader is probably asking themselves. When the gap between what's needed and what's actually possible just keeps getting wider and wider, what do you do? The answer isn't just working harder. It's about changing the whole equation. And this is where vibe coding enters the picture. Now, it's really important to get this. We're not just talking about another tool or a small software update. This is a totally new paradigm, a whole new way of thinking about how we get work done. So what is vibe coding exactly? Here's the core idea. It lets a domain expert, someone who really knows their stuff in, say, HR or finance, just describe what they want in plain, natural language. Then, an AI agent, which you can think of as this autonomous software worker, takes that description and just runs with it. It handles everything from planning and reasoning all the way to executing the task, completely end-to-end. And when you break it down, the process is actually pretty straightforward. It's really just 3 steps. Step 1, a user explains their goal, just says what they need. Step 2, the AI agent figures out a plan. It maps out the whole flow, identifies what it needs. And step 3, the AI agent just does it. It assembles and runs the workflow automatically. It's like a direct line from an idea straight to execution, no middleman. Okay, that all sounds great in theory, but what does it actually look like in the real world, day to day? Let's do a little before and after. We'll compare a typical day in IT with the old way versus what it's like with this agentic AI. Man, this comparison really says it all. The before world, it's all static forms, manual data entry, messy handoffs, the drill. But in the afterworld, everything is just smoother. The AI can literally read a request right out of a Slack message, it automates the next steps, and if a human specialist needs to get involved, it hands them a perfect, ready-to-use summary. It's all about getting rid of that friction. And this leads us to what is maybe the biggest, most transformative part of vibe coding. It completely rethinks who gets to build things and what it even means to do technical work in the first place. Okay, let's just address the elephant in the room. This is the question on everyone's mind, right? Will AI replace developers? If an AI can just build stuff from a simple description, where do developers fit in? Well, the idea here is that it's not about replacement. It's about elevation. Think about it. Developers get to stop being pulled into all that repetitive, boring maintenance work. Instead, they're freed up to focus their expertise on the stuff that really matters, the high-impact areas like architecture, design, and solving really tough problems. The work that they were hired to do in the first place. And look, this isn't some far-off prediction. It is happening right now. This data shows that a huge majority of organizations, we're talking 2/3, are already seeing AI reshape their tech roles. They're seeing the need to upskill their teams. The shift isn't coming, it's already here. But of course, with great power comes, the rest. You can't just unleash something this powerful without some serious guardrails. All this capability absolutely has to have a solid framework for governance and control. And I really like this metaphor. An LLM, a large language model, the engine behind stuff like ChatGPT, it's like a giant power plant. It generates a ton of raw energy. But what good is a power plant without a grid to distribute and control that energy? It's just chaos. It's the same thing here. Without those enterprise controls, the AI can make mistakes, it can hallucinate, and you end up creating more problems instead of solving them. So this all comes down to adopting what's being called a vibe but check mindset. I love that phrase. You let the AI handle the creative heavy lifting. That's the vibe part. But, and this is the crucial bit, you always have humans providing that essential governance, that final verification. That's the check. It's not one or the other, it's a partnership. And that check isn't just a vague idea. It's a real technical framework. It means having deterministic control layers in place. It means having rigorous observability so you can see exactly what the AI is doing. You need auditable execution traces, a clear record of its actions. And maybe most importantly, you need to make sure it's grounded in your actual business logic, so it isn't just making stuff up. So that leaves us with one final big question. And this is really for every leader out there. Do you wait? Do you hold off until this becomes the new standard and you're forced to catch up? Or do you act now? Do you take this moment of crisis and turn it into an opportunity to completely rethink how your organization gets work done? The choice is yours, but the shift is already happening.